Hi, can I make a withdrawal out of my savings account?
You know what? Actually, looks like you don't have one.
Alright, this is gonna be a juicy topic. Saving is a big part of people's lives, or at least I would think it is. Growing up, you're always told to save your money. You get birthday money, goes to savings. You get holiday money, oh, that goes to savings as well. And you never really knew why. You just knew what your parents told you, which was always to save your money. So you end up believing that saving your money is the best and only way to grow your wealth. Now, don't get me wrong, having a savings account is great for emergency funds. You know, the money that you need on hand to cover unplanned expenses such as car problems, medical expenses, things of that nature. Other than that, saving your money has no other benefit. I'm gonna be honest, I think I only have like a couple $1,000s in my savings account, and that's enough to cover 1 year's worth of my expenses. Yo, what is up guys? It's your boy Forrest, and in today's video, I'll be going over the reasons why I stopped saving my money, and who knows, maybe at the end of the video, you guys will stop saving your money too. If you haven't noticed, your boy changed up the stew a little bit. Hopefully it's a little more appealing to the eye. Not gonna lie, it took me some time, so I'd really appreciate if you guys could smash that like button, subscribe if you guys haven't already. I make videos all about money, finance, entrepreneurship. Also, make sure you guys watch the whole video through so you don't miss out on any crucial info, and because you'll be helping the YouTube algorithm show my videos to more people. So without further ado, let's see if I can convince you to stop saving your money as well. Also, my lawyer said I have to tell you guys this is not financial advice. Okay, so I grew up in an immigrant family, and for those of you that have immigrant parents as well, know the biggest thing to them is saving money. So let me give you an example of how mine and probably most immigrant families work with money. So let's say they make $100 in total, and $20 of which goes to bills. That leaves them with $80. They'll legit save $75 and only live off $5. And I'm not lying, I've experienced this firsthand, and the thing is, they never know what they're saving for. You can ask them what they're saving for, and their answer will always be just because, just in case, or for a safety net. And because saving was engraved in my skull, I was probably the biggest saver you could ever meet. Like majority, if not all of my income was going to savings. So back to my story. When I got my first job, it was a summer job as a cashier at a grocery store. I'll put in a picture over here if I can find one. I think I was getting paid like $9.50 an hour, and every week my paychecks would come around to $100 to $200, which was a lot at the time because a lot of my friends were only making like $6 to $7 an hour. So I already thought of myself as a pretty big baller.
Yeah, boy.
So when I first started getting my paychecks, I'm sure you can guess what ended up happening. Because saving was engraved in my skull, that's pretty much what I did with my paychecks. I think about 55% of my income went to savings, 30% went to like shopping and clothing because this is the time when Yeezys were being released, so you know your boy had to flex at school.
Yeah, boy.
And then another like 15% went to like going out and having fun. So that's what I did. I just kept saving my money and putting it into these three different categories that I talked about. I just kept saving and saving, and honestly I never knew what I was going to do with that saving money, but all I knew was that it was the right thing to do. Towards the end of summer, when school was starting back up again and I was about to quit, I got introduced to crypto or cryptocurrency. And I really wanted to invest in it, but I had no money set aside to invest. All I had was my savings, you know, where I kept pouring my money into. But I knew I could never touch that money because it's for my future. I really wanted to get into crypto and I had no other choice. That was the only money I had. So what did I do? I hit up the University of Google, because God knows if I asked my parents to touch my savings and invest it, they would probably kick me out. Okay, they probably wouldn't do that, but they definitely wouldn't be happy. Which is weird because it's my money, but what can I say? So I ended up doing a whole bunch of research and finally came to the conclusion that I was going to use my savings money to invest in crypto, which was probably one of the best decisions of my life. But that's a topic for a whole nother video. So what did I find that made me come to the conclusion that I won't be saving my money anymore? Not to say I'm not going to save at all. I'm still going to save if I ever need to buy a car or save for a down payment on a house. What I'm talking about is saving just because, with no end goal. The first reason is that there is no growth with saving your money. It literally just sits there. So for example, from my job, I might have saved a couple $1,000s. Let's just say $4,000 for simplicity. If I put my money in a piggy bank and don't touch it for a whole year, when I go back to grab it after that year is up, it'll still be $4,000. I mean, technically, I still lost money. I'll get into that in a little bit. So what's the next best alternative? People will say, oh yeah, you're right, our money isn't doing anything just sitting in that piggy bank, so let's put it into a savings account and earn interest on it. So these people will go out and open a savings account and earn something like 0.02% on their money every single year, and they're happy with it because they're getting money for legit doing nothing. So let's say I put my $4,000 in the bank and I get 0.02% on my money. At the end of the year, I would only have made $80. Now yes, it is still $80 and you can do quite a bit with it, but $80 for a whole year on $4,000 worth of money, I don't think that's worth it. And after all that, you'll still be technically losing money. Now you might be asking, Faris, you keep saying that technically I'll be losing my money just by saving it. How is that even possible? Well, let me explain. It's a term called inflation. It's pretty much the rise of prices of things around you, and currently the rate of inflation is around 3%. So let's say you have a piece of candy and it costs $3 today. If you go next year and buy the same piece of candy bar, it'll cost $3.09 because of inflation. On the other hand, let's say you don't buy the candy bar and you just sit on that $3 for a year. If you go back to buy that same candy bar 1 year later, you won't be able to buy it because you can't afford it, because that candy bar is now $3.09. This is where the term your dollar today is worth more than your dollar tomorrow comes in. It's because of inflation. Now I also said when you put your money into a savings account, you'll lose money there as well, because you think you're making some extra money just by letting your money sit there in the bank, but you're also losing money due to inflation, because the bank is offering you 0.02% a year in interest, and the price of things around you are going up by 3% a year. Does that really sound like a fair trade? And obviously the banks know this, but they don't care. They just want as much money deposited in their accounts as possible. So it's on you to be smart with your money. So what I learned to do is, instead of saving my money, I'm going to be investing it now. So rather than just letting my money sit in a bank account or in a piggy bank and losing value, I'll take it and buy things or assets that will make me more money and beat inflation. So you can invest in stocks, crypto, starting your own business, side hustle. There's honestly a lot of stuff you can do with your money. Now you might be saying all those things are pretty risky. You're basically giving up 100% sure way of making money by keeping it in a savings account to basically gambling it. First of all, it's not gambling, and second of all, it's not as risky as you think. See, the S&P 500 index is a fund that tracks the 500 largest companies in the US, and it averages about a 7 to 10% a year on your money. And 7 to 10% is far above inflation, so you beat inflation and get some money on top of it as well. Another reason why I stopped saving was because if you look at the world's richest people, or even wealthy people in general, they barely have any money sitting around in their bank accounts. They take their money and invest in real estate, stocks, crypto, things that will generate them more money. So I told myself,
Hold up, wait a minute.
if I want to be wealthy and wealthy people themselves aren't saving and they are investing instead, why the heck am I saving all this money? So let me break it down with some numbers for you guys. Unfortunately, my whiteboard hasn't come in yet, so we're gonna have to resort to the good old editing. If you were to put that $10,000 into a savings account paying 0.02% interest, you'll earn $20 a year. But if you were to invest that $10,000 into a brokerage account that gets an average of 7% a year, you would earn $700 a year instead. But here's the best part. Not only can investing put more money in your pocket every year, but it can also give you more money to invest with as well. So going back to our example, the $700 return you generated in your brokerage account, it's money that you can now reinvest, which will grow your balance even more. In fact, say you're able to invest $300 a month over 20 years, and we use the 7% average return on your account. At the end of the 20 years, you'll be sitting at around $147,000. That's more than double the $72,000 that you put in of your own money. And the reason you were able to turn that $72,000 into $147,000 is because you invested your money and you kept reinvesting your gains every single year. And on the other hand, let's say you save the same amount over the same time period in a regular savings account paying 0.02% a year in interest. You would wind up with just around $72,288 after 20 years. So after 20 years, you'd be sitting at $288 in profit. Super worth it, right? I'm gonna be honest, it took me a really long time to realize that savings accounts aren't worth it at all. It won't get you to the goals that you want in life. But investments, on the other hand, will. Saving can only take you so far, whereas investments are the next best route to achieve the goals that you want. Now, although you can get a pretty steady return over time, it is an investment, so there is risk involved. So never risk more than you can afford to lose. And if you're young, use that to your advantage, because the earlier you start, the more you can end up making in the long term, and you can afford to take those risks because you don't have any responsibilities. Now, as I mentioned, saving money isn't bad. It's actually more encouraged for you to save for something and buy it that way rather than just buying it on credit when you can't afford it at all. But it's when you save more money than you should with no end goal in mind when it becomes a problem, and a costly one at that. So the first rule is building up an emergency fund so you have that cushion in case anything goes wrong. And then from then on, happy investing. Also, if you guys are interested in buying crypto, I suggest checking out crypto.com. They're the #1 place where you guys can buy all the top cryptos. So if you guys are interested, I'll leave a link to them down in the description box below. But that is it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you guys were able to learn something about savings and why it's not the best of ideas. But I do hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in next week's video. Peace.